Hey, this is Mike Matthews from muscleforlife.com, and in this video I'm going to be doing the first of many video product reviews. I recommend a lot of different things on my website that I've used and liked over the years, and I continue to buy random things and try them, and things that I think are useful I pass along, and things that I don't like I just kind of don't put up. So I figure I start reaching out to these companies and seeing if they would send me additional products so I can do a video review, because some of these things I've tried in the past, I don't have many more or whatever, and then also to give them away to you guys and girls, readers and fans and followers and stuff. So the first product that I'm going to be reviewing is the Misfit Shine. This is what it looks like. This is it, at least the device itself is this, and then this is a little bracelet thing. And here's the box. I have another one which I'm going to be giving away. I have two actually. I have this and I have this gold one here. And the Shine it's an activity tracker and a sleep monitor. So these are very popular right now, these types of products. The Shine is pretty unique in that it's definitely the best looking. If you can see here, this is it. It's just this little thing, and you can put it into this little bracelet, and then you can wear it almost like a little watch. You can put it in your pocket, you can attach it to your belt, you can put it in your shoe, and I'll be talking more about why you want to do those things in a minute. Now, in general, activity trackers, you might be wondering why. What's the point beyond just the novelty of it? That maybe it's kind of cool to see how many calories you're burning and stuff, but I find that where these types of things are particularly useful, or if you're moving around a lot during the day. So let's say your job is very active, you're up on your feet a lot, you're walking around. It can be tougher to calculate your energy expenditure in terms of total calories than if you were just like me, where you're in the gym in the morning. I lift weights early in the morning, and then I pretty much just sit at this desk and work all day, and then I go home, eat dinner, sit at the desk and work, and then I do a little bit of cardio at night. So it's easy for me to just kind of use a standard TDE type calculation, BMR times activity, and find out how many calories approximately that I'm burning. But if I were up walking around, or if I were riding a bicycle to maybe to work, or around to lunch, or if I were working in a warehouse or something where I'm on my feet all day and I'm lifting things, it can be a bit harder to calculate how much energy I'm burning. So in that case, something like this is useful because it gives a better just a more accurate measurement of how much energy I'm burning. And also the sleep tracking is pretty cool too, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So specifically with this guy, this is definitely the most attractive looking device in the market. I've played around with others, and I recommend them on my website. And some of them are a bit clunky. Some of the ones that clip on your belt, they're getting better. Like the bracelet ones a couple generations ago, I think were pretty ugly and big and just obtrusive. They're getting better now, but this is definitely the most attractive in terms of fashion or just style. When you're wearing it like this, it's just almost like a little watch, which is pretty cool. You can wear it on your wrist, or you can, like I said, you can put it in your shoe. You can attach it to your belt. And I found that this matters because of, I wore it. I was out golfing. I was out on the driving range last weekend, and it was on my wrist, and it got a bit confused because just swinging over and over, I thought I was taking a bajillion steps. I thought I took like 5,000 steps over the course of a couple hours, which obviously I didn't. So that's very simple though. I just put it in my pocket, and then it doesn't get confused. I found otherwise it's pretty accurate though. Wrist is good for swimming, which then you can sync it with the app and tell it that you're going to start swimming, so then it calibrates itself to track that correctly. And day to day in your pocket is good, or in your shoe is good. Wrist is fine, but if you're doing an activity that involves a lot of arm movement, then it can get a little bit confused. I found that it doesn't get confused with typing. It seems to be okay with that. But if you're doing something that involves a lot of wrist but not a lot of walking, it can think that you're doing a lot of walking, which of course makes sense. It automatically tracks the steps that you take and then the distance that you cover. And it also can track, it has settings for specific activities like cycling, swimming, basketball, tennis, soccer, might be missing one or two others. And you can track those activities by when you get into the app, and then you basically like you set one of those activities, you choose one, and then you triple tap it. You tap it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then it starts. You can see there. So that means that now I'm telling it I am starting the activity that I've set in the app, and then it automatically knows when you finish. So you do have to set, it doesn't automatically know if you're playing soccer or playing tennis or swimming, so you do have to go in the app first and set it, and then you triple tap it, and then it will track that activity. Otherwise, you just wear it, it tracks steps, it tells you some various things about which we'll kind of get into in a minute. So the activity tracking itself, it's built around a point system that assigns various point values to time spent doing certain activities, like walking or playing any of the sports or swimming or something like that. Or cycling, it has a setting for cycling as well. And you set that goal in terms of points, and then you can just easily track progress toward it, which is cool. If you double tap it, it'll pull up a few lights light up that represents how far you are toward your daily goal of points, and then also it has a cool watch function, which I'll talk about in a minute. So the points thing is nice for just getting a quick general overview of how active you are versus how active you want to be, and you can also see like how much time you'd have to do a certain activity to get to finish your daily point value. So it'd say you have 20 minutes of walking left, or you have 15 minutes of swimming, or 40 minutes of cycling, or whatever, instead of just trying to work toward a certain point value or a certain calorie value. So that's kind of cool. The sleep monitor is simple, but it works well. It tells you how much time that you're sleeping. It tells you how much of that time was deep sleep. The graph is a little bit strange on the app. It's a little bit odd at first, but it's because the deep sleep bars are longer than the light sleep bars. So when you first look at it, you're not quite sure what you're looking at, but it makes sense after you look at it for a second. And it's kind of neat to see deep sleep versus light sleep, and then see how that correlates to how you feel throughout the day. Like I find that when I'm getting about 4 hours of deep sleep a night, I'm good. If I get a little bit less than 4 hours, I know that feeling. It's like I could have used a little bit more sleep. And if you have an iPhone, you can also use this smart alarm feature, which is nice. And what it does is it wakes you up during light sleep periods, which if you're woken up during a deep sleep, a phase of deep sleep, you're much groggier. That's when it's hard to get out of bed. You just want to stay in bed. Whereas you wake up during a cycle of light sleep, it's much easier to wake up. So what you set the alarm at a time, and then it will wait. It will. I mean, obviously, it's not going to necessarily wake you up right at that time, but it'll wake you up in the light sleep period closest to that time. And if you have to get up at a certain time, I would just use a regular alarm. That's nice for if you don't need to be up at a very specific time. You just want to get up around a certain time, or set it a bit earlier. Like let's say you need to be out. If you normally would have to wake up at 7:30, maybe you're going to be setting it at 7:15 or 7 o'clock with the smart alarm feature, so then you don't get pulled out of deep sleep. You can set the device to go into sleep mode manually, or it has an automatic setting where it just automatically detects based on the time of the day and then also your sleep patterns. Like it learns your schedule, and then it automatically recognizes when you're going to sleep. I just use the automatic recognition, and I think in previous versions, because they've done some firmware updates, people were having issues with that. People are also having issues with the taps, it not registering taps correctly. I didn't have the tap problem. I didn't have the sleep recognition problem. I wore it on my wrist and wore it when I went to bed, and it accurately tracked how much time I was asleep, and it showed me sleep patterns just fine. It also has kind of a neat little watch function that when you double tap it, it shows you 12, 3, 6, and 9 watch positions. I say I don't have the tap problems, but there we go. And then it has you see that. So that the grayed out light was 12, the solid light was the hour, and the blinking light was the minute, and it rounds it up to the 5 minute. It just goes in 5 minute increments. So it's not accurate to the minute, but it's kind of a neat little feature. And like the device itself, the application is really beautiful, very, very slick app. It's a bit limited in terms of functionality, and that's one of the, I guess the only downside of the device is if you want a really robust device that gives you a lot of data and is more for, you know, almost like if you really want to change your lifestyle, this is probably not the right device for you. But if you're like me and you just want something that's pretty simple, shows you how much deep sleep you're getting, tracks your activity to give you an idea of how many calories you're actually burning, and also looks cool, is light, you know, doesn't get in the way of anything, doesn't get snagged in anything, then this is great. The application, the Android application, is a bit more limited than the iPhone, and it's missing one feature that I wish. I mean, I use Android, and the Android doesn't have the smart alarm feature, which sucks. You know, they may have an iPad app. I'm going to check that out, because if they do, then I would actually use that just for that smart alarm, because I like that. So, you know, there are a few things that you won't find with the Shine that you'd find elsewhere, and probably the most useful ones would be related to tracking food and calorie intake, which it doesn't have anything for that, and it doesn't integrate with other devices and applications, and it doesn't have a web app. So those are a few things that you should know, that if those are important to you, then you wouldn't want to get this device. If those aren't important to you and you more just want something sleek, something unobtrusive, something that just works, because what it does well. It doesn't do as much as some of the other devices out there, but it does work well. You know, Misfit, the company that produces it, they say they're going to be opening up their API, so maybe we'll see some other device and app integration. Like, you know, if they could also, I don't know if they're going to be adding the food tracking. I believe I read that somewhere that they're talking about that. So if they added that and then they integrated with something like MyFitnessPal, that would be a definite upgrade. And you know, they can integrate with some workout apps and stuff. That would be nice as well. In terms of web app, I haven't seen anything on that, so I guess we'll have to see. So, you know, all in all, the Shine, while it's not as feature rich as some of the competitors, it's definitely great for just getting a pretty simple overview of your activity. You know, your exercise, how much energy you're burning, how much distance you're covering, you know, in your exercise, even on a daily basis, you know, how many miles you're walking and stuff, and also your sleep habits. And what it does well, and is definitely the most attractive of these types of devices on the market. So if all that sounds good to you and that's what you want, then I think you'll be happy with this little guy. All right, thanks. I hope you liked the review, and I'm doing a lot more. And also, I'm going to, you'll find in the description below, you'll find a link to the giveaway. So I'm going to be giving away 2 of these. And no purchase to enter or anything like that. I'm just going to start doing. I'm going to do this as a regular thing. I'm going to be contacting a lot of companies to get to send me stuff. I'll check it out. I'll do reviews like this, and then I'm just going to give them away to fans and followers and readers and stuff, just because I think that's fun. So I hope you like it, and I'll see you on the next one.